President Bola Tinubu has condemned the bomb attacks which resulted in the loss of precious lives and the maiming of other citizens in Goza local government area of Borno State, northeast Nigeria. The president describes the attacks as desperate acts of terror and a clear manifestation of the pressure mounted against terrorists and the success achieved in degrading their capacity to launch offensives. In a statement, President Tinubu declares that the purveyors of wanton violence would have a certain encounter with justice, and that these cowardly attacks are only but an isolated episode, as his government will not allow the nation to slither into an era of fear, tears, sorrow, and blood. The president states that his administration is taking necessary measures to secure citizens. And in a related development, the Borno State Deputy Governor Umar Kadafo, accompanied by the senator representing Southern Borno, Senator Ali Ndume, visited the survivors of the twin bomb suicide attacks at the Borno State Specialist Hospital in Maiduguri. They offered condolences and sympathized with the victims of the attack and promised government assistance to them. Speaking to journalists in the hospital, the deputy governor assured the victims of the government's commitment and support to the injured. The deputy governor and Senator Ndume also urged the public to remain vigilant and report any suspicious activities, emphasizing the importance of collective responsibility in maintaining peace and security.
We are here to see the victim receiving treatment here at State Specialist Hospital, Maiduguri. SEMA evacuated these victims from Goza and brought them here in Maiduguri. And the government is taking care of their medical bills. We visited them now with the stakeholders now. Even the stakeholders and me, we have given them 5 million naira for those who are receiving treatment here in Maiduguri State Specialist Hospital.
So this incident is very shocking and unfortunate. But His Excellency has said it all, and all I can add to it is to appreciate the Borno State government for their prompt response. Coincidentally, our son is the DG of SEMA, and he has already been given His Excellency situation report, and we are very appreciative and grateful to the acting governor for his prompt response.
The United Nations also has condemned last Saturday's suicide bomb attacks that targeted civilian populations in Goza, a local government area of Borno State. The UN resident and humanitarian coordinator in Nigeria, Mohammed Fall, in a statement on Sunday, expresses his horror and condemnation of the attacks in the strongest terms. He reiterates the United Nations commitment to supporting the victims of the attacks and conveys his condolences to the Borno State government. He says he is horrified by the attack on civilian populations and condemns the act in the strongest terms. For also reminded all parties involved in the conflict of their obligations under international humanitarian law to protect civilians from harm. Jonathan Onoja, security analyst, is here to look at this new development of suicide bombing again in Nigeria. Very warm welcome to Newsnight. A phenomenon Nigeria was never used to until the issue of insecurity, terrorism, and the rest. And we thought that in the last 36 months, the issue of suicide bombing had pilfered out completely. Why this renewed insurgence, twin, triple bombings going off in Goza?
Unfortunately, I think it's a relapse in operations to undermine the effort of the government. And first of all, let me say my condolences to the people of Goza, local government. I sympathize with the governors, I sympathize with the victims of the family and all the families involved. But I think I want to use this opportunity to also commiserate with the state governor, who is also currently maybe finding new strategies to combat this menace. But I think, in my perspective, I think they should rather remain focused to the current fight, the current strategies. What happened is a side distractions. You recall from 2009, since 2000, 2009, we started from the era of Boko Haram, up to kidnapping, abductions, and all banditry. So it's just a way of formulating different cells to undermine the current effort of the government. And so I salute the courage of the whole service chiefs in the front to combat anything insecurity. So what the Borno State governor have to do is just to rejig an aspect or a strategy of a regional security just to combat that particular issue. They have
the civilian JTF.
Which is it's just a strategy, just to renew, because my people will say, well, there's a popular adage, since the bird have learned how to fly, then we'll have to keep shooting without missing. So if they learn a different strategies of, flying without perching, then we'll have to start renewing a different strategies. That calls for, even if it is burials, even if it is, because if you recall, all this happened from wedding and
ceremony,
then getting to a burial ceremony. So they need to begin to bring strategies or introducing new laws, possibly, let's say, call it rules, like if you want to protect people who come in for the burial.
Goza has always been a stronghold of Boko Haram and the remnants. They seem very active in that, hilly, very mountainous community, if I must say.
Yes.
Would you say that the military, the Air Force here is not pounded those folks enough, to get the remnants of these terrorists out of that place?
No, that's not the case. That's not the case yet. The military have been there in Gosa over the years. I think what happened over, like if you call someone a repentant Boko Haram, you actually do not expect him to return back to his old practice anymore. And so what happened is just those that have been neglected within the terrain. And it is an unexpected attack. And what happened is just not just like these are people that have been there. Let me take you back. In a case where you're having a woman with a child, a baby, bombing herself with a child, it tells you that it's just a wrong ideology. Someone have just brainwashed her to tell her, look, do this, do this. She also may not be expecting this attack on herself or on her baby too. It's just like an ideology that have just been bettered. And I think this is just a new bomber, because even from the strategies that have been used, one that have come there for a case of bombing, we have an incident of 180 and all of that. But what happened is, I think this is an amateur bomber, and we should equally give it to the state's agency for what they have been doing in terms of emergency management
for the evacuation.
For the evacuations and the process involved. So, and you see, it's accountability in this instance. We've been told from so numbers to 18 and all of that. That is to show you that they're actually responding to the situations as it comes. So we need to give them kudos.
Yes, kudos to them at the expense of the lives lost so far, 16, 18, several others in hospital. The phenomenon, of the return of suicide bombing is chilling enough for Nigerians. I mean, we can recall the Sunday bomber in Suleja. We can remember the police headquarters, the various spots, the Yanya one, the one in the Abacha barracks fish markets, and what have you. How can our military security agencies step up the game to checkmate this so that we don't have a resurgence?
Well, I think social developments in those areas will actually reduce the menace. And I take you to the Kugbo axis. I love using that area as an example.
Stretch,
yes, because you see, from that Kugbo axis before now, you will be hearing a case of when there is either a hold up or traffic, people jump from one area or other to get phones snatched and all of that. But the moment that road is tarred and then you do not have any gridlock or anything, it's a smooth ride now. So nobody comes to stand at the junction or to stand at the express to say, oh, give me your phone. So development will also be part of the thing that's going to reduce anything insecurity. And which also commend the Minister of FCT, His Excellency Yusuf Wiki, with the idea or the concept of visibility policing. You see, even from the Good Luck Express Road, you see that right, even driving him here, I saw the road there with solar lights and all of that. So it's about visibility policing that you can see from this end to another end. So if the state governors begin to emulate this pattern, he also just brought in the case because there's a resurgence of one chains and all of that within the territory now. So what he came up with the concept is with the concept of bringing back the old pattern of what the federal capital should be, whereby if you see from Apo roundabout, Apo bridge, you see that they have actually barricaded that road with barbed wires so that one will not snatch one's phone here and jump over there. So if any operation that have to affect the true road there, it becomes very unusual.
When you still have motorcycle riders or car riders in the capital city where the president resides.
Please.
We're
talking about people's job.
Please,
as well, right?
Can I tell you something?
Talking about people's job,
there is
right?
a ban. When the government says there is a ban, there is an edict, there is a law not to allow. I mean, it's been known that Okada rider or criminals use that to spy and commit crimes. That's what we're saying. So why are they allowed in the city center?
The current bicycles or whatever the motorcycles they use currently, I will tell you for free that AMAC have details of the owners of these motorcycles. They use this also for delivery and all. I'm not going to defend that.
Jonathan Onoja, I'm not talking of bikes for delivery. You probably have not assessed the security situation enough to know what I'm saying. But it's all right.
I'm coming, Mr. Christian. I have to tell you this because of our listeners and also our viewers. For the sake of the people who use some of these motorcycles, the one you talk dispatch rider, those one you're talking about, Apo roundabout, or those one that use the Okada riders you talked about, I think the minister also has clamped down on them. It has been reduced. Go to Gudu roundabout, go to Gudu junction. All of these guys have been taken away to an extent. So it is a continuity of this whole thing. You see the JTF, you see
it's all right. Thank you.
So let's commend him at least to give him some reasons to continue doing more.
Thank you so very much, Jonathan Onoja, security analyst, for coming to unravel, the new resurgence in suicide bombing that we witnessed in Gwoza, Borno State, northeast Nigeria on Saturday.